morning, folks. We're going to start off today over here checking out our flares, and we just recently had an M1.02, and believe it or not, that just popped off right before I was getting ready to do this presentation. I actually had already done my analysis, and right as I was getting set up, this M flare popped off. So I guess timing is everything. So we have had some pretty recent, pretty fat C flares this morning. I had quite a few C flares where actually, if you can see, our baseline is starting to slowly creep up into C and living into C. And sure enough, as we were living in C, bam, we got hit with an M flare, M1.02. So let's go take a look at the surface of our sun, see if we can find it. From spaceweatherlive.com over here to spaceweatherpredictioncenter.noaa.gov, we're going to take a look over here at the Space Weather Enthusiast dashboard, and we can actually take a look at our flares. This right here is the Earth, obviously, and this right here is where our flares are happening. And as you can see, we are in B, and we get little pops of C's here and there. Boom, boom. You see those little C's, and we're going to get right at that. Again, that was a C. And then here comes the M right there. Bam. Now, it's not major, folks. We've had X flares already in the last year or two. We've been having X flares. So this is an M flare. It looks like we've got right up here to about 25 to 26. And if we look straight up here, this is actually saying only 23. But as it starts turning yellow, I don't know. I'd say it's pretty close to 25, 26. But that's just me personally. Could be slightly off because you got the little center of it here. So yeah, I guess they could be really dancing on it. But whatever. Anyways, as we scroll on up, let's take a look at these sunspots that we got going on here. And these are our sunspots. We got a nice little bit right here, and we got these two guys right here. Definitely have some activity going on over here. This is a region where we had our one flare off yesterday off the bottom side that's not going to be affecting us. This one is the one that's going to be affecting us from right off here. Coming on over here to solar ham, I'm going to tap on here, and we're going to take a look at our polarities. And yep, it definitely looks like we've got some stuff going on. This is where we had our one that launched off, not going to affect us. This is the one that will affect us. Look, it's kind of a little guy. 3078, this is right by the edge of that coronal hole, remember? 3078 is right by the coronal hole, and we've got this bugger here. It looks like they're starting to develop a little bit stronger, but it also looks like they're starting to separate. So, and if you guys remember earlier last week, it was when it was over here, they were just two positive and negative, and they were right on top of each other like these guys. So they are starting to separate, which is good. But either way, you can definitely see the positive and negative charging going on all over the surface of the sun. It's definitely waking up. As we come on back to our main page, we're going to come on back down here and see if we can't find where that flare came from. And this actually brings us back to Space Weather Prediction Center, but it takes us to the GOES Solar Ultraviolet Imager SUVI. So let's come on over here to 94 angstroms, and we're going to see if we can find right where it came from. Well, it looks like it might have came from this guy right here. Let play. And let's see here. Yep, that's where it came from. And actually, that looks like it shot a little something out at us. Whoop! Yeah, that's actually coming our direction. There is some flare. Let's go. Ooh, let's go check it out in the 304. Now, checking it out here on the 304, let's give a little looksy-wooksy here. Gotta tap on that, and then let's give us a little look. Looks like that might have been our flare. It is spitting and sputtering. Now, what you guys saw over here off to the right side, you see this right here? We actually did have an eruption over here that kind of shot off to the side. We'll see it over on the SDO in 304. And, yep, looks like there's our flare. Oh, looks like we got a little friend right there. Oh, don't see him on this one very often. And it looks like that was our eruption, and it does look like it is sending stuff out. You can see the movement here on the sun, so it looks like we got some more coming at us. It's not a whole lot. In fact, actually, you can see an arm here, and an arm here. If you guys watch the movement, so you can see the flare there, and then you can see the movement, and those three. See that? Yeah, so we got 1, 2, 3. So, yeah, and that's actually kind of coming out in a little weird spirally shape. So, yep, we're going to take some of that one on the chin, too. Incoming again. And checking it out on the 195 angstroms of light, we can clearly see, whoosh, we can clearly see the solar tsunami, if you will, but we can see the release of plasma. And from the looks of it, we might get a little bit. I don't know if it's going to be super major, because a majority of it stays below the equatorial plane. We are actually in rotation. We're actually kind of closer to the equatorial plane. We were on the upper side, but now we're kind of closer down here. So we might get a glancing blow from that, but I don't think it's going to be a direct hit from my prediction looking on this. Jumping over here onto seeds, we are going to, this is LASCO C2 in the reverse ink filter, and we are going to take a look at our, oh, look at that, board cube. How you doing, Mr. Board Cube? I see you. We're going to take a look at our eruption that came off of the right side, and if we look, we can actually kind of see it going across this way. This was today. It's approximately 6 a.m. actually it's before 6 a.m. around probably 4:30 roughly. So as we take a look, we can clearly see that there's plasma here, and it kind of comes down. So if we draw a line this way, it may not affect us, but as we start going out more, we can see that it kind of expands a little bit. Yeah, we might get a little glancing blow of this one as well, because then now you can see that it kind of comes over to here. It comes down here. It might get us. We might have a glancing blow from it, but nothing major from what I'm seeing. So this one and then the one that we just had, the M flare, I don't think they're going to be major players. I just think it's going to be just glancing blows from those two. Let's see if they have anything up on stereo ahead, which I doubt. Yep, they don't have anything on stereo ahead yet. So let's come on down to ISWA. Coming on over here to ISWA, we're going to take a look at 304 angstroms of light, and we will watch our eruption. You can see the filaments dancing all over the place. Always watching those. Now this is the eruption that happened earlier. Okay, and that happened at, okay, it was right at 424. Huh, I was right. 424. And that's a pretty decent sized eruption, folks. There's quite a bit of plasma coming off of that when you see that. So that one's not going to affect us. However, this one here, if you watch this, you'll actually see it kind of spit out. See that? It's thrown a little bit out. And then, you know, of course, SDO gets on the back side of our planet actually, and it kind of shades it out a little bit, so it kind of screws it up for us. We had a little flare there. And then look at that, it's spitting again. If you look right here, let me zoom in on it. You can see it spitting out. Whoosh, you see that? But that's not going to affect us either. But the sun is definitely waking up, folks. It's definitely getting way more attention and activity. Now, here's another one there. Do you see this one here? Look at this. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, look at that. How you doing there, little buddy? Oh, come on, you gutless bloody wonder. Look at that. Got a craft here and there's a little trail behind him. Yeah, there's a couple of them on here. I've actually seen a couple of them, but I'm not going to bore you with that. But as we see this one here, if you notice, it actually kind of opens up. You got to, if you want to see your positive and negative, your connection lines here, it opens up this way and it opens up this way. So that could actually fling something up into our area, because don't forget, we've got this coronal hole. So it's going to fling up into the coronal hole and could blow right into us, if that makes any sense. So we're watching here, and then we're also watching an eruption here happen. And actually that's right towards, so SDO is not quite caught up, and usually it's a little bit behind, because SDO is a little bit higher definition than GOES. Actually, it's a lot more definition than GOES. So it's not really showing us on here. So what we'll do is we'll actually go on over here to 193 angstroms of light, and we'll take a look at it right here real quick. We'll watch our eruption there. Right over here, we can see our first one. And we see a little bit of movement right here. You can see that movement. So that's definitely, that's moving. Now, keep in mind, we also have the coronal hole kind of adding to the movement of the corona itself. And then we've got our second eruption right there, and it also affected this. So that's probably what triggered that M flare. Because look at all this getting pushed right up. I mean, this is the coronal hole. This is all getting pushed up into the coronal hole. So, and this is going to be affecting us. So yeah, we're going to get a pretty dense solar wind when that arrives. Yippee-ki-yay. Over into ISWA, I actually pull up stereo ahead corner graph 2, and we're going to start off with our eruption from yesterday. This was our eruption, and as we move forward, we can clearly see that, you know, we know that we're going to take some of that, right? We know that we're getting it right at square on the chin, but our magnetic field should be fine. But watch this. we go look at the timestamp. 14. This is from yesterday at 20:38, right? To 9:38. What? That's 13 hours exactly of missing data. 13 hours. Is anything significant about the number 13? Does anybody know? Basically, not allowing us to see that eruption. But we did get some kind of a craft or something on there as a consolation prize. Oh, look, there's something there. Whatever. Anyways, folks, I don't believe I've mentioned the date today. So it is right now it's approximately 10:33, August 15th. It is my son's birthday today. And son, if you happen to be watching, I love you. Happy birthday. Daddy loves you. So remember, keep your eyes open. No fear, and love is the only way forward. Solar Wolf out.